Yo, Tremba.
Testing. All right, we're recording. Hello, welcome. My name is Charlotte, and welcome to the Charlotte O'Tremba Show. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so happy you're here. It's a wonderful day. I am obviously wearing a blazer. If you didn't listen to episode 3, I explained to you why you should always have a blazer. And so obviously I'm wearing one. This is a fabulous vintage DKNY, thanks to my mom, who is so cool, and all my coolest clothes are from her because she worked in fashion, so obviously I need her taste. So very excited to be wearing it. I also feel like last episode I was interviewing the fabulous Eric Miller, and we didn't even touch on the fact that my hair is different and probably was a little jarring if any of you watched the video. So if you're listening, irrelevant, doesn't even matter. But for those of you watching or saw some video clips of me, I cut my hair many inches off of my hair, and it's now more of like a shoulder length shag, modern shag. I feel like I wanted kind of a nod to, I don't know, the 70s when shags were a thing, and I mean now they're kind of a thing again, and then and like more modern now. And then I also wanted just like less hair to deal with. I don't know, any of you that have long hair, I'd be curious to know if you feel this way, but I literally get so freaking like over washing it. It just takes forever to wash just in the shower. You like never really know if you've washed all of it, and then there's just all this hair always that's so long in the shower. And then to dry it, forget it. It's just such a pain. And yeah, so I'm just happy that it's shorter. I don't have to like freaking deal with it, and it takes less time. And then I just wanted a new look kind of, so I decided to go full bleach. just full bleach blonde. And it was really awesome. The stylist who I worked with, she like did this cool purple tint on me for a little, which I loved and probably will do again. So that's what some of my photos have, and it just gave me just such a thrill. And you know when you just need to feel just invigorated with your look? You know, I don't know how many people feel this way, but for those of you who do sort of find desire in expressing yourself through fashion or, you know, your hair, or, you know, whatever, and obviously there's so much tied to identity with how you express yourself, but I feel like this whole pandemic time just really made me appreciate how much I feel, I don't want to say better, but do just like feel, yeah, I guess feel better, feel like a higher version of myself when I sort of take care of myself, you know, like when I do my nails, or when I have a hairstyle that I sort of feel like is cool or that I'm excited about, or, you know, like just feel good. You know, we all just want to feel good. So I'm pretty excited about it. I feel like it's like a new lease on life, or leash on life. Yeah, whatever the phrase is. I should look that up, because that's like, there's so many of those sayings that you think is one, and then you've been saying it wrong forever. But I guess, okay, probably lease on life, because you're just like lent this time on earth, and then, you know, like you're renting it. But then leash would be like you're like taking hold of life by the leash. Like life is your dog. And I've got a new leash on it now. It's embroidered. It's got life's initials on it. And this is a brand new leash on life. And it starts with this single process bleach blonde that I'm fucking obsessed with. Okay, so so that's where it is. I have a new hairstyle. So there's gonna be just a discrepancy from the first few videos where my hair is longer and a different color, and then when it's short but not like I just cut off any of the balayage blonde that I had before, and then it just looks darker, and then now it's lighter. So that's where I am. I've got that, and I've got my blazer, and I'm feeling freaking good. I also got a gel manicure, and wow, your girl has been late to the gel manicure game. Late, so late. I mean, I remember just years and years ago when this started, and I was just like scared to do it for whatever reason. I have no idea why. I just was convinced that it would ruin my nails, which it still could. So, I mean, remains to be seen if it ruins my nails. We'll keep you posted on that. But in the meantime, I got a nice neutral shade that I'm going to milk for as long as humanly possible. And again, this just goes back to the grooming thing. It's like such a nice, little luxury that just does wonders for your confidence, I feel. Okay, so that's it. That's where that's going. All of the important topics have been covered. Hair, nails, blazer. Check. Next, I want to talk about dogs, male dogs, that are not neutered, that walk around with their balls and ding dong flapping about. I hate it so much. You want to talk about a visceral reaction? The visceral, full body reaction, that discomfort that I feel when I see like an older dog walking by and they have not gotten their balls cut off. And they're just like flapping and nobody seems concerned. Certainly not the owner who's just walking this dog about with balls flapping. And that's always what it is, because if they're running, they are flapping, like belly to belly side, like practically, and they get like so saggy that they're practically like wrapping around the dog's body. Just like flung all the way around. They're so gross, and they look like, just so gross. I honestly, I don't know how guys do it. I would just be like, get these things off me. If I were a guy, I'd probably just neuter myself because I would not want to look at the balls. They're just so gross. I'm so sorry to all my male listeners. I love you, and it's a me thing. It's not a you thing, it's a me thing. But what I will say is just that, like, if you have a dog and it's a boy dog, one, just get it neutered. just get that off. Drives me insane. But otherwise, all dogs are cute. I love dogs, but I can't do it. I will probably, and also I don't like them on cats either. When I see a cat's like, oh yeah, it's just, I can't look at it. I will only ever have girl pets. Women pets, I don't know, however old they are. I can't. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm talking about. I would just be curious if anybody else feels that way, though, about the guy dogs, the boy dogs, whatever. I can't look at the balls. Okay. Speaking of animals, all of my actor, performer friends will hopefully be able to relate to this, unless they have completely drank the Kool-Aid and they believe in it. But So I'm doing Groundlings right now. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a comedy, improv, character-based improv school out in LA. And the beauty of this pandemic is, I did my audition over Zoom. I took my first level class over Zoom. I'm now in my second level class over Zoom. And I'm based in New York. So like, I haven't even had to be in LA, which is just really incredible. And that is, it is amazing sort of how we as humans can adapt. But so and if you know me, you know that I've done acting training and been acting since I was like 10 years old. And one exercise that is just like consistently used by acting teachers that I swear is like a way to just completely break you to humble you is the animal exercise. And believe me, I thought by now I was fucking done with the animal exercise. And yet it came back and I had to do it for this class I'm in. Now, the difference is, and jury is still out if it's better or worse, but I have had to just do it by myself in my apartment in front of my computer with the camera on, instead of, in a class where we're all just in a room together on the floor being animals. And sorry, I should say the animal exercise is when the teacher will just say, be this animal, be a cat. And you have to transform your body and all of your mannerisms and the way you walk and whole thing, like get on all fours and walk like a cat. And then there will be times where you have to like interact with other actors on the ground being those animals. And the idea is it's supposed to help you kind of get out of your body and transform your body into a different being, and then, just shed yourself and sort of pick up new mannerisms. And just what? I'm 28. I do not feel like rolling around on the ground as a jaguar by myself in my apartment with a class that I've paid far too much money for. And I just thank God I was on mute, because multiple times I just kept going, ah! What? I'm just so done. I can see it. Okay, I do see the value in it. I think if you're just starting out or something, and an argument could be made that it's a good refresher, and I'm never one to knock continued learning. Always continue to learn and challenge yourself. Go back to the basics, whole nine. But I just have so little patience for this exercise. I'm so tired. So many classes I've done, they always do this animal exercise. And then I'm done. I'm done. And then on top of it, this teacher, who is great, I love, but he is Australian, so his choice of animals, the first animal he chose was all right, yeah, now gonna be a prairie dog. That was a terrible accent, don't listen to my accent. A prairie dog. I do not know what the fuck a prairie dog is. I don't think we have those here. I've never interacted with a prairie dog. I cannot recall when I've seen a prairie dog, but all I could think of was those things that pop up, they pop out of their holes and they look around, meerkats maybe? So obviously I was completely wrong. I literally don't know. I'm guessing it's a dog that lives in a prairie. Could not tell you. So I'm sure I was not the only person in the class that was what the fuck do I act like? I don't know what to do here. So I'm just walking around on all fours and just randomly pawing at things, hoping this is what a prairie dog does. What? On this, the rug. So then I'm getting some rug burn on my knees from this super intense animal session. Yeah, super sexy. And then, so then he did prairie dog, and then he did jaguar, of course, And then he did And then the last one he does is snow monkey. And the way he presents it is he's like, the snow monkeys, they are in the snow, and then, they like to go hang out in the hot springs, and they sort of like put the water on themselves. No, I don't know. Nobody here knows. I looked it up later. Apparently they're in Japan, which is so amazing. And I would love to go to Japan one day to see this snow monkey hang out in the snow and then go in the hot springs and pat water on themselves. Look, also write me in and tell me if I'm wrong here. This is just what I gathered from what he said, and then I just did a quick look to see where they are from. I cannot confirm the spring thing. So I'm like, okay, I don't know how big these monkeys are, what they look like, what the fuck they do, but I do know that they like to pat water on themselves. So I just walked around the apartment and just started like patting myself with imaginary water, imagining that this is a wonderful activity. If you're gonna do the animal exercise, choose animals that we know. Because right now, I was 1 out of 3 that I knew. A jaguar, I know what a jaguar does. Thank God for Disney. And the Jungle Book. Oh, it wasn't even a jaguar in that, was there? Okay, whatever. You just like get the point. But yeah, there's also this amazing ability that instructors have, which I don't know, there have been times where I've, directed or whatever, and I've had to work on giving directions without letting my frustration come through. I don't know if I can say I was good at that, but this guy is so good at like somebody will be speaking and clearly say something so out of left field that's just dumb. And he'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, great. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So supportive, so calm. And then we'll just calmly redirect. Actually, this was so humbling. So in class, this last time, this week, I did a scene, and it was this game where you get like a one-liner, and then it's and then it's like basically like 2 high school kids giving speeches that they're running for class president, and then you use this line that they give you privately to inform your character. And so I did it, and like you don't have any time to think, you just get up there, and when I say get up there, I mean I just go solo on Zoom and do it for an imaginary audience. And after I went, he goes, wow, Charlotte, yeah, that was pretty funny. We saw your comedy come through. You're funny. It's the 6th class. And he sounded surprised that I had any comedy, like anything funny within me. The 6th class. We've been together for 3 hours 6 times. That's 18 hours. And this is the first, this was like a light bulb went off. And I was like, wow, great. Just, fuck me, I guess. Yeah, so he was like, yeah, why do you think that is? I was like, I don't know, because we're on Zoom? No, I was just like, I guess I didn't have to think. Overthinking strikes again, dampening any chance at humor or potential opportunity. Yeah, but it is so true. I mean, overthinking is literally hinders any sort of, if you want to act or perform or, do stand-up, write comedy, write even, just write. You can't overthink. You got to turn off that side of the brain. Don't ask me how. I'm still working on it. But I do think there's something about being like, you have to go so fast that you can just turn off that analytical side. It's just like, all right, boom, go. Lights up, go. So that helps. All right, moving on. Another quick tidbit. Do any of you watch Great British Baking Off, British Baking Show? And first of all, would be curious if there are any loyal watchers out there, because I've watched maybe the last 3 seasons, and I feel like I haven't bonded with any of the bakers this season. Not that anybody's bad or something. I don't know why. I feel like I'm not rooting for anybody like I have before, or like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, except for maybe the gal with the dark hair, and she, like, her intro was so crazy. Something like, yeah, she likes to unwind by listening to heavy metal and doing yoga. You're like, what? Yeah, she's great. But like this past week was Japanese week, and one of the challenges was to make the buns, like oh God, I'm forgetting the name, what they're called, but the sticky buns, and yeah, anyway. And would you know that 2 of the 6 contestants made their buns look like burger buns and then stuffed them with burgers and cheese? Way to just completely destroy a traditional Japanese dish and just slap some of that good old UK culinary sophistication right on in there. I might as well have just thrown in some potatoes and just called it. Been like, yeah, we don't care. We're just gonna do burgers. Imagine what they would do in the American version. Although at least like in the American version, there would be real Japanese people in it. Like there would be diversity. But we're a bigger country. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. All right, great. All right, now we gotta dive in. I know you wanted to talk about it. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Wow. Want to give a shout out to Becca because I was not going to watch this. Fully was like, yeah, okay. She was like, no, you have to watch it. And then as soon as she said that, I immediately watched it and texted her the entire time. It literally, okay. So if you don't watch the Real Housewives franchise, great for you. But the rest of us enjoy it. And this one follows some ladies in Salt Lake City, Utah, known for being heavily Mormon. And the cast of characters, diverse in their religious preferences as personalities. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So there was definitely some focus on the Mormon thing, obviously. And literally in every transition, every single transition just is a shot of the Mormon church. Every single one. And yet only like 2 of them have been kicked out of the church, excommunicated, whatever, kicked out. Like others are like not really practicing, or like, yeah. And then one converted to Islam, and then one is Pentecostal, and well, we need to talk about her. We need to talk about her. Oh, okay. Before we dive into her, there are some things I want to talk about. One, okay, the transitions we talked about. Two, the fact that they all drive these insane cars, like Lamborghini, whatever, and it's snowing. I mean, this is a true winter town. And then they get out of their cars in these crazy high heels. Like, I feel like anytime I go to Utah or Colorado, like somewhere super snowy, has mountains, I mean, I fully don't even pack any other shoes besides hardcore snow boots. What else would I wear? You can't even walk up the driveway in some of these places. I mean, I'm sure there's footage of people like, of these ladies slipping. There would have to be. I don't know how they just cut around it. I don't know how you wouldn't. Heather is my favorite. I've already decided I want to be friends with her. She's so cool. She's divorced. She runs this like dope laser and Botox place. So first of all, would want to be friends with her for that hookup. But no, but she just is probably the most real. She like tells it like it is, fun, whatever. And this is great because like I feel like when you start a new Real Housewives franchise, you want to have an ally. You want to know that there's someone that you can follow that will be like your voice of reason and who would like be your friend. And you're like, okay, this person is safe. I like feel okay. And then Jen also seems fun. She's like the partier. She's the one that converted to Islam. And I don't know what she does. I think she just throws parties. And they look dope. So want to be friends with her. And let me tell you, those lips are giving Lisa Rinna a run for her money because, woo! Oh, and then also there was just like two different references where they're like, oh yeah, well back at BYU, like something in our college days at BYU. What did you do? What kind of parties or like hot social takes were there at BYU? Oh, and then there was this rumor, blah, blah, blah. What, that somebody held hands? Yeah, anyway. But then this whole thing is this chick, oh my God, what's her name? Mary? Who bit the Pentecostal one, who is married to her grandmother's, so her like step grandfather. She's married to her step grandfather. Her grandmother, now deceased, was married to this guy. It was like her second or third husband. And then they try to just gloss over it in the interviews. They're like, oh, well, yeah, she said in her will that, you know, she said it was okay for us. She blessed it in the will. Like the will just said something like, I hope that my grandchildren will take care of my husband. Not sleep and then marry them. Oh, yes, he needs to be taken care of. Let me bed him and keep him close. Yeah, it's so effed up. And then on top of that, apparently there's some Reddit thing that obviously I read explaining it all. And I almost think I should just go into this in the next episode because there's so much to cover. But it is, I think she's a criminal. I said it here first. I think she's a criminal. We'll pick up on that in the next episode because right now it's time for advice. Yes. Thank you to all those who wrote in with questions. I am so excited. Okay. First question. Sonia R asks, how do I stay productive on days off when I don't work from home? I've noticed recently that it's hard for me to want to do things and leave my house on my days off since I'm so tired from working. Great question. First of all, I would say it's okay to have a rest day. And there is such a pervasive attitude in our culture, which is can be so great, but sometimes almost like the pendulum swings too far, which is that we are so sort of go, 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 productive, have to be productive, have to get this done, you know, get on the grind, hustle, whole nine. And then you just like feel guilty when you like don't do anything. And it's okay. You need to recharge. You know, I think historians have said that, you know, back in the day, you know, the top leaders of countries or in government or business or whatever, they would take like whole months off to recharge. I think schedule it. That has helped me where I just say, okay, like Sunday or whatever, it depends on the weekend, of course, like based on schedules, but like a full afternoon or evening where it's just like, that is my do nothing time. And maybe it's better if like you're already tired from the week, maybe that like next day off. So if you like work Monday to Friday, let's say, maybe you just say, okay, Saturday morning, you know, Saturday day, maybe you just take the full day. Just say, I'm not doing anything. I don't want to do anything. This is my scheduled recharge time. And then that way, if you schedule, you know, like a hike or, you know, to do chores or whatever, maybe you don't even say that, and then you just say, okay, but Sunday morning, that's like my chore time. After I recharge, like that's my time. And I really do think like for me, because everybody has errands and stuff, I literally just sort of just each week just say I need to get this done, and I'll schedule it in on a day to help me do it. And then I just treat it as like a work commitment where it's like I have to get that done and I do that today. Or like I schedule in like dinner with a friend and I just put that in. Even if it's like a week or 2 weeks in advance, then you just have it there and you know you can schedule around it and it doesn't feel like another responsibility looming over your head. So I hope that helps you. You should not feel bad about being tired and taking some rest time. You know, you gotta recharge, and then you'll have more energy to do the other things that you want to do. Michelle M asks, what is a great all-around bottle of wine to have at home for when guests come over? Great question. I would say I am not great with specific brands, vineyards, you know, whatever. I am not an expert there. But I would say I think you should always have at least a bottle of red and a bottle of white, because people are pretty particular. Not everybody, but a lot of people usually prefer one or the other. And I think what's a good red to have always, I think, is a Pinot Noir. And I say that because it's never sort of too heavy. So like if, you know, you don't want something that sort of feels super wintry or super summery. I feel like, and depending on maybe what food you have or whatever, I feel like Pinot Noir always can go with lighter dishes and go with more substantial, heavier dishes. It can hold up to both. And yeah. So I would say that. And then for a white, this is going to be it's going to be a little bit off the beaten path. I mean, not for those who are like actual winos, but I would say for a white to have on hand, I really like a Gruner Veltliner. I might be saying it wrong. It's 2 words. First word starts with a G. Second word starts with a V. And I really like it because it's crisp. It's a white. And it's not too far into either the Sauvignon Blanc realm or the Chardonnay realm, where, you know, people like, you know, I feel like it's so interesting. Like everybody from my mom's generation, like prefers Chardonnay. And then everybody from my generation prefers a Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio. I don't know why that is. I don't know if you like just at a certain age, your taste buds are like, yes, Chardonnay time. But I am not there yet. And I feel like a Gruner is crisp. It doesn't linger on the tongue for a long time. It all tastes good with any sort of lighter dish like a fish or pasta, and just tastes really good sort of at the end of the day too, similar to like a Pinot where, it's not too heavy. It would taste good. Could even, make a spritzer. Not popular. So I would say I would get those two. So I would not have one bottle. I would have those 2 bottles. And that's what I do. And if you're looking for a brand, the only one I can recommend is one that my boyfriend Lon gets, which is Martinelli. And consistently, those are always the best. But they're a little bit more expensive. So, I think like if you know for sure you're going to have guests over and you want a nice bottle of wine, get a Martinelli. But also don't feel pressured. Price doesn't always indicate, like you can get really good bottles of wine at a lower price point. So don't ever be pressured. That's it. That's it, guys. Oh, this was a great day. I feel so happy that I got to share this time with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you wouldn't mind if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, if you wouldn't mind just popping in a review at the bottom, you can scroll down on the podcast page and click write a review. It just takes a couple seconds, but it would mean a whole lot to me. And if you could share this with your friends, if you enjoy listening, please tell your friends about it. I would so appreciate it. And I can't wait to talk to you next week. All right. Bye-bye.